Mae, welcome. Good to see you. I know about you a bit, well, mostly because I started doing some investigating. The first time someone said something it was mostly like, are you and Mae related? Because my real last name is almost your last name.
Yep.
Because my real last name is Estell, which is Estell. Yours is Estes. Matt Stell is also from Arkansas, and his is St. So people think because we're from Arkansas and we have the reputation of being all related that we might be related. I said, no, I don't. I'm not related to her. And though there are many similarities, which, man, there are. There are a lot. We're from basically the same part of the state, school, everything. What are you wearing there? A Henderson shirt? Yeah. Yeah.
We love a detail.
Henderson, yeah. Did you wear that just for this?
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, good.
I mean, I had it easy access. It was in my closet. I do wear it. But.
Perfect. And then one of my dear friends, we were flying back from Chicago, and someone had asked about you. And I asked George Burge, I said, do you like Mae Estes? And I said, because I'm teetering on who to interview, because we only do a couple of these now a week. And he was like, she is the best. And I was like, done. So that is how you ended up here. So
George.
Your thoughts on all of that?
Well, Bobby, you are a legend where we come from.
Well, I think there's the only few of us that got outside of the state line, so they remember us for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And your story has been inspirational to me, even from a distance, as far as like, you don't have to have anything, but I guess I'm calling it audacity these days, to believe that you can do it. And so a lot of our story is similar in the same that like we came from, I think, absent dads and no money and small town and no resources or opportunities. And so I was really drawn to your story and followed your career closely because of country music, obviously, but also because you come from damn near the exact same area and have proven that with work ethic and sheer determination, you can make a lot of really crazy stuff.
Well, that's nice of you. You're from Hope?
Hope, Arkansas.
I've been to Hope a bunch.
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm from Mountain Pine, so Hope was big compared to Mountain Pine. I think you guys were like 3A or 4A. My best friend and one of my groomsmen played quarterback at Hope in college, and you guys had the Watermelon Fest, the Hope Watermelon Fest.
I was the Hope Watermelon Idol one year.
You were?
You're in the presence of royalty.
They had the Watermelon Idol?
Yeah, and it took me about 5 years to win it. They kept letting this like 75-year-old man who like rode a bicycle to the competition win it every year.
Wait, they're an old man? It wasn't like American Idol where there was an age gap or a limit or anything like that?
No, and I was still young and cute and had that going for me and still couldn't win it. So
in year 5 or 6, you finally win Hope Idol. No, Watermelon Idol.
No, I was like about to move to Nashville. I was like 20 or 19 when I finally won. But I did finally win it.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm sorry I didn't get to tell you that initially. I know that was a big part of your career. Yeah. When looking back. So did you go to Hope High School?
I did.
And whenever you're growing up, and I don't know your family situation. So no dad check out. What happened?
That is a whole other podcast, I'm afraid. But my biological dad left by the time I was 2. My mom eventually remarried. That dad adopted me. And they've actually been divorced and remarried to each other in the process of getting divorced again. So I have.
That doesn't even sound weird to me. I'm going to be honest with you.
You're honestly one of the people I was like, you know who I don't think I'm going to be able to raise an eyebrow on is Bobby Bones. Because the rest of this town is pretty enamored with I like to say I have a Jerry Springer life story. And that's why I fit so well in country music is, my heroes like Loretta Lynn and Tammy Wynette were not making that stuff up off the cuff. They were living it. And when I try to figure out why my story has gone the way it has, I think God was like, well, you got to have something to write about, sis. And
he was giving you material?
And when I'm in my most positive mindset, that's how I'm looking at my life.
So I have double cousins in that I have my sister and myself because my mom and her sister married my biological dad. I don't really call my dad, but his brother. So we had 2 sisters marrying 2 brothers so that tree doesn't really branch out. So we're not inbred. I have to say that.
I know.
We're not inbred, but it's like
Arkansas is thick in here.
Yeah,
today.
We're double cousins. We're as much cousin as you could possibly be without it being illegal. So when you say stuff like that, you know what? That's just how it is. That's how it is in Arkansas. So you finished at Hope High School. Did you go to Henderson State? Did you graduate?
Yeah, I graduated from Hope High and wanted to go to Belmont. I came to Nashville and toured it, and it was going to cost me an astronomical amount of money. I was getting a bunch of in-state scholarships. I did really well in school, and so I was getting a full ride to go to Henderson State, and honestly took the responsible route. I wanted to be in Nashville from the time I was 7 when I started singing, but so grateful I went to Henderson, and I could get drunk at house parties there and not die like I probably would have in Nashville if I moved here at 18. Learned a lot about myself and got a mass media communication degree.
Dang. We might be just the same person in a different timeline.
I don't know how much to creep you out with those details, but yeah, I also interned at US 97.
Really?
For my internship in college, and had the same media law professor you did, I think.
Who'd you have?
That's 10 years ago now. What's his name?
That's like 20 for me.
I haven't even thought of his name since, but he told me that he still had contact with you when I was in his class because I told him I was moving to Nashville. But yeah, man, our paths have crossed in a lot of ways.
Yeah. When you moved to Nashville, like, would you finish school and you're like, now I have to go?
Well, I was chomping at the bit to go before I ever went to college. In college, I think I was first-generation college graduate. I think a lot of it was like, this feels like what you're supposed to do, and it feels like a responsible thing for me to fall back on.
So you wanted to get your degree first?
I wanted to get my degree, so I went for 3 years instead of 4.
Oh, you crammed it in?
Loaded up on classes, worked full-time to save to move to Nashville.
What'd you do for work there?
I worked at the Hibbett Sports. I worked at the DeGray Lodge as a line cook. Only girl, youngest one by like 20 years. That was maybe the worst job I've ever had. I did anything I could just to like hustle because money was not going to be the reason I didn't get to Nashville. So
I drove every day because I worked every day. Would drive from Arkadelphia to Hot Springs, and so I drove drove over the dam every day.
Yes,
I mean that is something I don't think about now, but every day I made that drive over to Gray and that whole area because I had to drive to Hot Springs. I would leave. I would go to class 8 a.m. I would take 8 a.m. classes. I ran the college radio station as well, and so I'd finish there around 2 or 3 and drive over. Always stop at Popeyes in Hot Springs, work, and then leave at midnight or 1. And then there's the Waffle House between, it's very close to Arkadelphia, but it's right before you get back into Arkadelphia. And I spent probably 4 nights a week there in that Waffle House that when you're driving back, it's on the right side of the road. And
Caddo Valley?
Yeah, right in Caddo Valley.
We call that the awful waffle.
Mm-hmm. And I spent so much of my time there just studying, getting ready for the next day so I could go back to work. So I know what that hustle is, especially when you're there. I once there was a bank in Arkadelphia. I haven't thought about this in a while. And I'm at the ATM. Or near it, I'm in the line. And it was one of those drive-up ATMs, and there's a woman, and it's very windy, and she's struggling to reach out. I often don't park close enough to an ATM to have a good reach to just be able to grab and put my card in. I always got to lean out, open the door a little bit. Not great. I don't want to ever hit my car, so I don't park that well. And she's struggling with it. The wind's blowing, and her money comes out, and I can see it come out, and it's sitting in that bottom, like that grip that you take it from. It comes down and she doesn't see it, and she looks back down into her car. And as she looks, a gust of wind blows it all out. Cash blows everywhere. And she comes back and she looks at it, and the money's not there, but the machine says that she was given that money. And so she's confused, and then I see her kind of get angry, and she just drives off, and she drives into the bank. And I see all the money come out of the machine. So I park my car and I get out and I'm grabbing the money. It's such a windy day. I grab all the money. I'm picking it all up. I don't know if I got all of it, but I've got it all in my hand. It's a lot of 20s. It was like $280, $300. So it's a significant amount of money. So I take the money. I drive it back around to the bank in Arkadelphia. And I go in and she's just giving the teller the business. The machine did not give me my money. I want my money. I need it credited back to my account if you're not going to give me the money. And I walk in and I'm like, oh, here's your money. When you look down, it all blew out. She's like, oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. So she takes her money. She leaves. They tell me at the bank, hey, that's really nice of you. We want to give you a reward because you easily could have driven off with all that money. I'm like, a bank's going to give me a reward? This is the best place to give you a reward because that's going to be something significant. They're like, come back Monday and get your reward. And so all weekend. And I lived in a really small town house in Arkadelphia. Rent was like $200 a month.
The dream.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm about to get my rent, everything paid for. And so I go back. I was so excited to go on Monday and I'm ready to get my reward. And I show up and they give me a hat from the bank and they give me like a 10% off coupon to the Catfish restaurant. They were like, thank you so much for saving all that money. I was like, where's the rest?
The fishnet. I was a host there.
That's it.
I was a host there
you
for
worked
2
at the
weeks.
fishnet?
It didn't go well, you know. I need to be on the line, I think, not at the host stand. I'm not a good greeter.
That's my last Arkadelphia story, that I saved a whole bunch of money and got 10% off the fishnet, fish nest in a hat. Yeah.
Well, you didn't say the hat.
Well, the hat was what they led
deal.
with. They led with the hat. But yeah, that was it. So you leave Arkadelphia. You're done with Arkadelphia. You move to Nashville. What do you pack up? You pack up do you have enough stuff for a big truck, a U-Haul, or what?
We have a trailer. My family they didn't move with me, but they helped me move my uncle van, my mama, my daddy, and my sister. So I drove my Honda Civic and had it loaded to the brim, and then they had a truck with a trailer behind it that had my bed and some furniture like that, and I moved into a house in East Nashville with 2 other girls that I did not know at all for $500 a month.
How'd you meet them online? Just find somebody needs a roommate?
Nope, I was on Craigslist looking for roommates. My mom was having a heart attack.
Because of that?
Thinking I was going to get murdered. Yeah, I'm talking like 50-year-old men I don't know that have like a room for rent. And I'm like, hello, I'm 21 and I'd love to live in your house. 8 hours away from everything I know. Like, anyways, my mom called this guy's mom, which is the most Arkansas thing ever. She's like, my friend Biddy has this son that I think is doing well in Nashville. And I'm like, Mama, don't harass them people. But thank God she did.
Oh, she knew somebody already here.
My family, my mom's dad was in a bluegrass band before I came along. And there's a dobro player, big session player in town named Josh Matheny, who was in a band called King Billy back in the day. And his mom.
King Billy had a lot of famous players in it.
Mm-hmm. Brothers
like
Osborne, Charlie Worsham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Utterback on bass, Kevin Weaver on drums. That was my band when I first got here. I played with the King Billy band, which is unbelievable it was insane. But anyways, Mom called his family, and he ended up taking me under his wing immediately. So I didn't know anybody in Nashville, but I knew of Josh Matheny, and he is the biggest blessing I've ever had. He was taking me backstage at the Opry immediately, let me come watch him play at the Bluebird. He was super close with Carly Pierce at the time, and so I was just right in the middle of all of it, taking as many notes as I can. I really lucked into a lot of networking as soon as I got here through that guy, so I give him a bunch of credit. But other than that, man, I had to figure it out, and I started working 3 jobs at a time, and I did that for 5 years until I finally got a publishing deal.
What'd you do here? What jobs?
It'd be easier to tell you what I didn't. I managed the Victoria's Secret in the Green Hills Mall. If you've never folded a panty bar, then you don't know real torture.
I haven't in a while, so yeah.
And that sucked. I did that at the same time I worked at Tavern in Midtown. And I did that for 4 years. That's where I got laid off in COVID from that restaurant.
Were you doing those because you could do one at day and one at night? Was Tavern more of a night job?
It swapped around. If I worked morning shift at one, I worked the evening shift at the other. And on my off days from one of those jobs, I was at my other job. And 10 years into it now, I'm not sure why I convinced myself I had to work every second. But I think the financial part of my journey, when I talk to other artists and friends that have made this kind of crazy move, the financial part looks different for me than it does for a lot of those people. It has been a driving force where I think I have a gigantic fear of not having any money and having to depend on people. And like, I just know that if I drop the ball here financially, I have nowhere to go but maybe move back in with my parents. And like, I've never had a fail safe when it comes to that. So when I moved here, I was like, it's so expensive to live here. It's obviously a gigantic difference from the small town I grew up in. And so I was so stressed about, I got to get my feet on the ground financially, because then you got to make music, which costs. But I mean, I was just trying to live here, and networking costs so much money. You're trying to meet as many people as you can, but that's going out to bars and dinners, and you got to spend money to network too. And so money was my biggest, like, I got to figure this out first.
It's still that for me. And I have it, and I still freak out about it.
I wanted to ask you how much, I had a conversation this morning with a friend that was like, I think I would make a lot of different decisions in the music business if I could completely separate that. Okay, how am I going to pay my mortgage? But the money part, like, if I had the freedom in that way to make decisions, it would look different.
Yeah, but I think, at least with me, sure, it would look different as well, but it shaped how I approached everything. Like, my approach on money was, and still is to a point, I was scared to do like direct deposit. I was scared to do auto bill pay because there wouldn't be money. I had all these irrational later fears that I didn't feel safe, even with letting people see or have my money, like a business manager. That was very difficult for me.
That has been the hardest thing maybe ever. It's so foreign, and when you come from a family that, like, we ain't never had no finances to manage, and then you hand all that over,
and you have to pay them.
So foreign.
Yeah, so and that was hard for me. But I think the extreme discipline that I have and had with money also affected things positively in other ways that weren't money related. Like my work ethic, I'm going to show up before other people. I'm going to work longer if I need to. Because I've been so scared of not having money, I got to make sure that I am the absolute best so I don't get cut and don't have money. So I think it's made me a harder worker. Just even now, I think it's been kind of a superpower. I think it's where the tenacity has come from. I think I've been poor also, and I also know I can be poor again, and I survived. And I think that gave me a lot of comfort to know that if everything went wrong, period, I was still going to be okay because I was pretty good at being poor.
Yeah, it's resilience. I have that, and I have noticed that is my greatest strength, and it's a perspective of the world around you and other people, and I'm really grateful for it, but it definitely made it a lot harder.
Whenever they were like, hey, you got to get a business manager, I was like, well, I don't really know what that is, and I would call around, and when they're like, you have to give us a percentage to handle your money, I was like, well, I don't want to do either. I don't want to give you a percentage, and I don't want you handling my money, so why in the world would I do this? And they're like, well, because you have to pay percentages. And I was touring a lot of the time, even with a band. They're like, you have to pay all your band people, all your bills. You got to pay your agent. You got to pay your management, all those percentages.
Taxes.
All taxes, especially for jobs that aren't like my main job, which my main job, they take the taxes out. But my other 5 jobs, they don't. And I see why people in like Hollywood go to jail for not paying their taxes.
Yeah.
Because it's weird to have a job where they don't take the taxes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, money was a big driver in shaping how disciplined I am because I had to have money to survive. And if I wasn't super disciplined, I don't think I would have survived.
Mine's also safety-based, I think, maybe in a similar way to you, where I grew up in a childhood that I didn't have control over a lot of things. And so I think I ran full speed in the direction of, like, I don't want to have to depend on anybody because, even the dad example alone, that's one of the first people that let you down, that is supposed to do something that they didn't do. And so I learned that early and was like, I don't want to depend on anybody but me forever.
Because somebody you should be able to depend on, you weren't able to depend on.
Yeah, that's the first lesson I learned as soon as I was old enough for my brain to develop it was.
Yeah, it's a sucky lesson.
Yeah, but if you use it right, and it also, I'm able to relate to people in a way I couldn't without that perspective.
Yeah, I think empathy is, again, another superpower. Perspective is also one that you don't really sign up because you want. Nobody wants perspective. It's nice to have perspective once it's there, but no one likes to gain it because you only gain it through struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get, again, you write songs from perspective.
Yep.
And I think, a lot of the music that you're writing comes from places that you've been or seen or been exposed to. And like you said, I think a lot of the situations that you've been through have created the creative that you are. And yeah, I think it's super interesting because I think we have a lot of similarities in how we got here. I can just imagine from Arkadelphia. I went to Austin from Arkadelphia. Mm-hmm. So similar type city to go do a job that I didn't know anybody. I moved there. It was kind of crazy but I was also going to do what I thought I was supposed to do. Like I was leaving to go to Austin to start my career. And that was the same thing when you moved here to Nashville. What do you do when you get here? I know you're working, but like, how do you do music stuff? Like, where do you start?
I'm still not sure. I was hoping you could tell me.
Yeah, I'm out.
Today,
yeah, I know nothing.
What the next step is. I just dove in. I have that same I'm not trying to say I'm your cousin, but it's really looking like it. Because I have the exact same work ethic. And so I got here, and anyone who would meet with me, talk to me, give me good advice, bad advice, would let me play a show, would let me sing 2 seconds for them. If I could work a job, make some money, like, because Nashville was this magical mecca to me and just larger than life. And I thought all I had figured out at this time was that I had been given some kind of God-given gift to connect with complete strangers. And it made me feel seen and made them feel seen. It was a physical release. Like, that's singing for me. And then I think Nashville was probably the whole safety perspective. I was like, the people in Nashville can tell me how to make this a career where I'm able to take care of myself forever, take care of my family forever, have a stability of some sort, which is hilarious to ever think you're going to get that from the music industry. But I think that's my small town naivety, was Nashville is the place to take this small gift and change my life with it.
Was it weird to have like-minded people around?
Oh, that was incredible, because I very much, Arkansas, there was no music scene. I started singing the national anthem at rodeos I was in when I was little. That's where my first performances were. I became the national anthem girl for the Arklatex. And then
Which means everybody listening is Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas.
Yeah.
It's like that whole area where it all kind of hits each other.
Little corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all there was. No one was writing original music. There were some Opries and hayrides. I played the Oaklawn Opry in Texarkana all the time, and we drove to Glenwood for an AM radio show, but those were all classic country songs. And I was 10 years old singing Don't Come Home A-Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind and having to learn all these old classics. And I was like, I want to sing Carrie Underwood. And I hated it at the time, and now I'm so old school. I'm like, all I love is classic country. But that's all there was around me. And so I knew if I wanted to have a career in country music, I could not do it in Hope, Arkansas or Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And I wanted to so bad, but it wasn't realistic. This was the hub. No one I knew did it, and I had to come here to learn the business.
When you have a job, and it can be the tavern, it could be at the mall, it's other people trying to make it too that have jobs like that so they can make it. And to be around other people that were also trying to do the same thing, I'm sure it was both refreshing and even maybe a bit intimidating if they've been doing it for a long time and still haven't broken out yet.
Yeah. And, you just feel crazy as a creative if you're not in the right spot. And so it was cool to I can confirm we're all crazy now, but at least we're all in it together. But also that ambition. I feel like my hometown still, and I don't mean this negative at all, but they don't really know how to dream. I feel like my hometown discourages any kind of out-of-the-box thinking, or like, you want to start your own business? Do it. Like, that's not a thing where I come from. And so when I got here, I met other people who were like, I want this. It doesn't exist. Let's make it. And so that was incredible. But there is that other part of like, everybody here is unbelievably talented.
That's a truth.
And charismatic and beautiful and also rich. Felt like everybody's freaking parents were rich and had 3 lake houses and all kind of shit when I got here. And I was like, when we started talking about retreats and stuff, it was like, well, shit, I ain't got, y'all want to come to the Deer Camp? It's a shed. It ain't got no electricity even. But if y'all want to come, we can write some songs. And so at first I was so intimidated by that because I was like, damn, I'm not going to fit in this. But then I was like, oh, and now like times have even changed where it feels like people are chasing that. Like, people want to sing about a trailer house now. I grew up in a damn trailer house.
Yeah, they want to fake poor even if they weren't, because they want that's
poor,
the relatable thing.
Yeah, small town and like authenticity. And I used to feel like I needed to hide that part of it. So then I found my people here, and it was like, I think I'm authentically what some people wish they were, which is interesting. And then I had to learn to surround myself with people that are better than me. And I try to do that every single day, just kill my ego. I should be the worst person in the room, and that's how I feel. If I'm worth a damn at all in my talent, it's because those people kept making me level up for the last 10 years.
You're so right. I've said this a lot about people, creatives that move to this town. Most of them are rich or poor. Very rarely is it a middle-class kid who moves here that has some stability, went to a pretty good school. Like, you either have to have mom and daddy's money, because this job has no stability. You move here, you're just on your own, the wind's blowing, you could be awesome and never make it.
And that could still be impossible with mom and dad's money too, I've found.
Yes, but with mom and dad's money, there's stability because you've got the money to pay the bills. Yeah. Or it's somebody who's completely poor who has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And a dream. And you know what? If they're going to be poor, okay, I've been poor before. I'm going to keep being poor, but I'm still going to do what I dream of doing while being poor.
Yep.
And so it's usually those two kinds of people that move here as a creative that want to make it as an artist. You either got some money or you got no money. And rarely is it in the middle. Because in the middle, you're kind of comfortable. And if you're comfortable, it's hard to take yourself to a place that's not comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
And I think even when people get success that had, we'll just say no money, it's hard once you've made it. And I struggle with this for a while because I started to go, man, I've kind of made it. I don't want to really, do anything to, rattle the cages now. I don't want to lose all this. I know I'm past that stage again, but I started to be comfortable because I didn't want to lose what I had. And so, yeah, it's one of two kinds of people. And I could see where that would be intimidating moving here. And it's a bunch of, well, it's a lot of like rich kids who can come and just write all day because they don't have to have a job because they don't have to pay their freaking car insurance.
Yeah.
And all that stuff's got to be paid first before you can even go and write songs. Who is here like in your class? And I say that as, when I moved here, there were 5 or 6 or 7 of us who moved here around the same time, like the Dan and Shays, that's like my class. We all moved here at the same time. Who moved here kind of when you moved here that you remember?
Well, I feel like the artist community is something I'm just now trying to tap into. I haven't had a lot of artist friends because we've been running opposite directions at the same speed, and we're also in our own, I'm like, good for you, but I'm so focused on my own stuff, I can't even have that kind of, so I had a lot of songwriter friends initially, but Emily Ann Roberts, do you know her? Mm-hmm. She, we've just recently become friends, but she moved about the same time, but we've been really good support systems for each other and have very different journeys. She was on The Voice and had the TV show and had a very different journey. But yeah, we both kind of are feeling a little bit of a buzz this year around the same time. But I think that 10-year mark is just kind of what I believed is the Bible because it was some kind of comfort, even if I was like, I don't know, it was just kind of this mark for me. So I will be completely honest. The 10-year has been a mental breakdown for me because I was like, what did I want this year to be?
What did you want this year to be?
I don't know. I think I have spent a lot of my journey in Nashville. Somewhere along the way, I let the industry and the town help me make my list of goals and what success is.
Because you're seeing it around you and what other people are doing?
Yep, and because people validate certain things like, this is an incredible opportunity to me because we come from the same place. I wanted to have a conversation with you. But there are opportunities like this that mean a lot to your label or something and don't fill your cup at all. And that's what I'm in currently is this looking at my whole life and career in a different way because I think I've gotten close enough. I've seen The Wizard, and I have gotten close enough to know that the glitter is not gold.
Man, it is not at all.
It is not, but I do think there's incredible beauty in this, and I think there's obviously something in my heart that made me sacrifice everything in the whole world to chase this. I still believe that's there, but I think I've gotten a little distracted on what success or even stability is for me, and so it's been crippling to be honest with myself and be like, sis, you might have gotten it wrong.
Well, you know what the glitter is? The glitter is fulfillment. And it's hard to think of that when you're just trying to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Because you can't pay the bills with fulfillment.
You also can't, I feel like I'm such a control freak that I have had my life like this, and you can't accept, even if financial opportunities were coming, I'm not looking for them. I've already decided they're not coming to me. And that's not a productive mindset.
What do you mean by that?
I think it's a protective pessimism. I don't expect to just be like, if I trust the process.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's going to call me tomorrow, and it's going to be a check that's going to pay my mortgage this month if I decide to let go of everything that doesn't feel good to me. And I love that, and I have friends that actually have experienced that. But I have this part of my brain that is always going to fight that because my life has not been that way. I have seen that the world is not fair. And just because you work hard for something or you think you deserve something or you're a good person, nobody gives a shit. That's not how it works.
You're right. The only one that does is you.
Yeah. And that's why I work so hard to depend only on myself. But it's another hard truth I've learned this year is I don't think you can do this shit by yourself, unfortunately.
And it's also hard to find the people, though, that can do it with you, that care about you enough to put in an effort, like a real effort, like a real team. That's why my team's been with you for 20 years. Like all my people, if you come in, you almost rarely leave. Like my co-hosts on my radio show, 20 years. Even like Morgan, who's my manager and runs my podcast network. I was speaking at a college here 13 years ago, and she just emailed me from the board. And I was like, yeah. I mean, I was also like, I don't know how old I was, but, and so she came and she was an intern, an assistant producer, executive. But it's like once you get like 5 or 6 of those people that it matters to as well, like that's where the real currency is. Like, because you can trust them. You can trust that they trust you, and you can trust them, and you know that they'll work for it as well. It's hard to find that.
How do you deal with the beginning stages of that where you feel like people are just pouring into you? And I mean, for example, like a manager's getting 15% of what you're doing, but that ain't nothing at the beginning. Like I struggle so much with people because that's something else is I've had a lot of people hold things over my head in my life. That's why I'm so independent and I don't want anyone to do anything for me ever. But I struggle with those champions that come on early and accepting that love and help and investment and belief. Have you ever struggled with that, or you just found the people that jumped on board and you knew you were going to work until it was beneficial for everybody?
I don't think anybody jumped on board. I'm sure everybody has a different story about working with me. And also, I'm
going to interview after
I'm
this,
so reluctant to let anybody in at all.
Same.
Like, it's hard to get in. And everybody that's been with me now is, for the most part, my whole team is plus over 10 years in different capacities. So it's really hard to get in. It's like a gang. I got to jump you in. I got to jump you out. So it's almost like there's got to be something really traumatic that happens for me to believe you even want to actually be here and not just make the money. And then the opposite as well. Like, you really got to like stab my wife for me to fire you. Like, it's one of the two.
That's how I feel about my marriage was like, because I'm married, which is shocking to me. I did not think you got to have a spouse in this, but I actively tried to just like jump scare him off. I'm like, I'm a pain in the ass.
That was me and my wife.
I'm difficult and stubborn,
Yeah.
and no one in God's green earth should put up with me, especially when I'm 100,000% committed to this dream and will put it above you every time forever. And I got to be honest about that. But I tried to be like, you don't want this, you don't want this. And he would not go away. And we've been together 8 years now, married 5.
Wow.
And he's the best thing in the whole world. But I think that is going to be the same approach. Maybe in my business team is I'm going to be like, you can't handle me. I'm too crazy. No one should put up with me. And they're going to be like, no, I'm in this. You don't scare me.
That's so unhealthy.
I know.
And I do it too.
That's so unhealthy.
I'll give you another example of a very similar situation. I have a very dear friend of mine he's an excellent artist, singer, one of the best singers, one of the best guitar players that I know. And he toured for 10 years with me and was actually a really good friend. And I was looking for a position inside of my little internal group, keep a very tight group. And it was a position that he had never done, but he had done a lot of written a lot of songs for TV shows, written a lot of songs for commercials. He does a lot of producing for other artists, but I needed a job that was like that. But for me, it's like all capacities, video, audio. I just needed like a creative by my side that there wasn't a defined job, except the definition is, man, we just got to figure everything out. And I would never thought of them for this because he was so overqualified. And I was looking because my guy Reed left and he hit me up and he was like, hey, would you ever consider me for this job? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think it's you because you don't want to work with me in that capacity. And I had every one of my people call him. And I told them, all my closest friends that he also knew, all my closest friends, that I'm call him and try to convince them not to work with me. And I would tell like Eddie, my best friend, who knew him. I said, hey, call him and tell him the worst parts about working with me. I think I had 5 different people call and convince him not to take the job. And then at the end, he called and he was like, dude, I've worked with you for 10 years. I've toured with you. Like, I get it. You're crazy in a way, but like, I'm good. Let's go. But I did the same thing. I tried to convince him not to work for me because it's like, you don't want to have to be around this all the time because it's insane and I'm insane. And that same guy is your husband. Yeah, we did the same thing. I feel like that's what you did with him. I mean, I feel like you're like, you don't want to be with me. But I try to do that in relationships.
Yeah, I mean, you just expect, when you love people, you think they deserve the best in the world. And when you have a poor self-image, I 100% am trying to love myself. It's going to take me the rest of my life to figure that out, I think.
Yeah, me too.
But when other people love you before you know how to love yourself, it is the most confusing thing in the world.
You think it's because your dad left? Because I think a lot of it's because my dad left.
I try not to give that man any damn credit, but the older I get, the more I'm like, those abandonment issues are I got a box full of issues, but I think the abandonment one, yeah. But I think, again, I don't think I'd be sitting right here. I don't think I would have that, I'm doing it. And you were the first person to give up on me. So I think there is a part of me that's like, proving you wrong.
I agree. I think two things can be true at the same time. I think it can, because I think for me, that's a big part of why I'm here. My dad left when I was 5. I lived with my grandma some. Mom left for a bit. Mom, died from drugs, and I know she loved me, but, there's a lot of that. And I think I have all these, weapons because of that. And it's awesome, and it's awful. And I think two things can be true at the same time. And I think, like you said, you just try to manage it. You try to walk an impossible line, because you can't walk it right. But it's at least knowing that you can't walk it right that makes it somewhat healthy.
And people have to want to understand you. That is what my husband, Chad, has taught me the most is, I got every kind of like letter you could have, ADHD, OCD, all the things, depression, anxiety. I'm like all over it. And I feel misunderstood permanently. That's where I turned to music, was as a child having feelings and things was like, well, that's not how that happened, or that's not real. I had my emotions dismissed constantly. And so I started writing diary entries and poetry that eventually turned into songs, because that piece of paper never talked back and never said what you're feeling is wrong. So that's where it all started, was having those feelings and that validation. I don't know.
How do you do with praise? Let's say somebody praises you and they're like, hey, Mae, you're really good. Like, how? Wow, you're killing it. How does it make you feel?
This is so funny that you and I finally get to talk in this time of my life when I'm having a spiral and re-looking at everything. But I have imposter syndrome, like most people do. I'm really struggling on how to fill my cup in the praise area, because my talent, like if you were to compliment my work ethic, and
because you can control your work ethic
and resilience and determination,
because you can control that,
then I'm flattered.
Same.
If you compliment my talent, I am not scared of anything. I can talk to a fence post, not shy. My mama was playing the Leanne Rimes version of the national anthem at the rodeo, and I was like, turn that tape off. You got the real deal in the flesh right here. Give me a microphone and let me try. And sang the national anthem. I have no control. I know my voice very well. I've spent a lot of time singing. I never shut up. So I know my instrument. But I had nothing to do with this gift. And songwriting, I think you can learn the craft, but having feelings pour out of me so much that I feel like I'm going to die if I don't do something with them, that's also out of my control. So I just feel like the talent part is such a God-given, ethereal thing that it's like saying, I don't know, it's like complimenting something you had nothing to do with.
If someone tells you you're a great singer and a great songwriter to your face, how do you feel?
Numb.
Is that good or bad?
I think it's bad.
So you don't accept it?
It plays a small validation for me that, like, I think I'm more excited that they've heard of me.
What if someone says they don't think you're very good?
It doesn't hurt me as bad.
Numb?
That'll probably get to me before the good, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that often does. I when people tell me I'm talented, I get offended.
I do know that because I listen to your stuff, and I've heard you do that a million times. And I was like, how am I going to compliment him when I finally meet him? Because he's going to fight me. But I am the same. I think it is that same, like, humble and, like, how we are just.
I don't know that I'm humble, Mae. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm humble.
Really?
Not really.
Have you ever been?
I think I'm humble in some areas. I think I don't allow myself to be humble in the creative space, because I think I have control to tell people when I'm good and tell people when I'm bad, and I don't want anybody else telling me anything.
I think my humbleness might have held me back in some situations because, for example, recently, Ashley McBryde has become a big mentor of mine. I think she's somebody who holds her integrity really close, and I have learned a lot from her. And we got to play the AIMPs together.
I don't know what that is.
The Association of Independent Music Publishers.
Okay.
It's an award show, mostly like industry focused, and I haven't got to do a lot of award shows yet, so I got to perform for that one and won an award, and it was a big deal. And me and Ashley were in the same green room getting ready, and she was like, "How do you feel about these award shows?" And it's like, honestly, I am just so excited to be included. I can't believe I have my name on the green room. I got invited to this. Like, I'm grateful to freaking be here. And she was like, "I get that, but I'm going to pass down some advice that Miranda gave to me. You better start acting like you belong here." She was like, "You wouldn't have these opportunities if they weren't meant for you. And the whole, I'm just so happy to be here, you're going to have to lock that up." And we had that conversation earlier this year, and I've been really looking at the way I walk into opportunities lately because I am super confident in at least my ability that I'm giving it hell. If you put a microphone in front of my face, I have never, ever held back. And if I can find confidence in that, then I think I can, like, believe that I deserve the praise, maybe.
Yeah, I think mine is I don't want anybody to control any narrative of me at all.
So you don't want them to even, like, your opinion doesn't matter.
Don't talk good about me. Don't talk bad about me. I'll do both. I'll do plenty of both. I'll tell you how good I am. I'll tell you how terrible I am. I don't want anybody saying anything about me.
What's the good at, though, when it's a subjective thing? How are you able to say, like...
I'm not saying it's healthy or right, by the way. I'm just saying that. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I mean, that's another thing is, like, even if I feel I am very talented, but do you need the, like... Do I need everyone in the... Why doesn't everyone know who I am? Why am I not rich? Why don't I have a million number ones? Like, it feels like the talent part of it in this industry is such an interesting spot because people just think you're so talented and you should have all of these things when really those things have nothing to do with your talent. What a mind.
It's a weird Venn diagram of being really good and then being rewarded for the good that everybody thinks you are. Yeah, that's a good question. There's not an answer to it because there's no formula. Because I know people that are awesome that for some reason didn't pop through. I know people that are very mid that have massive careers. And it's crazy. Like, there are people that have a bunch of number ones that I know they're not a very good singer and they have no charisma on stage, but they met the right person.
Yeah.
They met the right person who needed this type of artist and decided to push them through. And then I have people who I know that are a freaking plus who just never got that break. And then it's the opposite. I know people who are awesome who got it, who figured it out. And so I don't know that there is a formula, or I think if there was a formula, all the best, the literal best at what they do would be the ones that have all the awards. But then I think it's a human thing too. Meaning people got to like you. Like people have to like you or you're not going to make it. And not even just people in this business. That's a big part of it. But also people that are like watching you on social media or they're watching your videos that are, spending money to come to a concert. Like if they don't like you, you can be the absolute best singer in the world. Like I was on American Idol for a bunch of years and the best singer never won. But the person that the people liked the most ended up being a really good singer, but it was the most likable person. It's like you have to be really good in like 4 or 5 areas. When I won Dancing with the Stars, I was a bad dancer, but people liked me the most. And that's such a valuable part of, well, life in general. I don't care if you work at a bank or a dairy farm or here. If people like you, they want to be around you. And so they're going to do things for you to hopefully be around you more and help you get to those positions. And so I think that's been a hard lesson for me. It's not just show up and work the hardest than everybody else. It's also you got to kind of be likable too.
Which sucks. And let me ask you, like, do you think... Oh, I have so many questions. I'm so AD. I need to pop another Adderall currently, probably. What did you just say? That was...
You know what's funny about Adderall? I was talking to Brett Eldridge on this about it, where I had a few strokes, like minor, like ischemic strokes.
That's not casual.
It's not, but I was telling him because he's never taken Adderall.
I'm actually on Ritalin, not Adderall.
I've never had Ritalin.
I'm trying some things out.
I loved Adderall for it, like, popped me back. I haven't taken it in maybe years at this point, but man, it popped me back into shape.
Did it?
Like it stimulated my brain back for the first time after my strokes.
So how do you take it regularly? Because that's what I find interesting about ADHD is I go to the doctor and I'm like, I can't remember to eat food. I'm losing weight so drastically because that's how the issues I have with my attention. And they're like, cool, start taking this pill every single morning and every night or sometimes and I'm like,
Phone reminders.
my problem is I can't do anything regularly. Yeah. So now you want me to take 3 pills a day on top of it. Sounds good.
It's all phone reminders. It's just tell it to do that. So you take Ritalin, slow release? Is Ritalin slow release?
I started on slow release and now I am on a lower dose that I can take twice a day. Songwriter schedules are touring artist. No 2 days are the same for me. I'm not like waking up at the same time every day. If I had a late show and didn't get to my next venue till 3 a.m., I'm sleeping as long as I possibly can. And so I was taking that extended release sometimes at 11 a.m. and it was keeping me up forever. So we're trying this now, but man, I'm stubborn and I self-sabotage like nobody's business because if I go ahead and make things hard for myself, there's a comfort in that for me, which I know is insane, but like I expect things to be hard. And if I control the hard, then somehow that's a mind thing I've made up. And so I sabotage myself.
Is your husband in the business?
No. He's a mobile mechanic, and it's refreshing.
Is that awesome for you?
Oh, my gosh. But also horrible because you have a person who is just using basic knowledge of the world and doesn't have the subtle things that Nashville and the music industry have taught us. So when any contract you sign in this town is stupid. It makes no sense in business if you take out the potential things that signing a record deal or something could do for you. If you're just talking to somebody who doesn't know about music, that is the dumbest thing you could do. So that is the worst thing about having him is he does pull me out of when I get in this like Nashville world. He's like, does that even make sense? Or is that just the way why did we do things that way? But mostly he's super quiet. We're opposites. In the best way. I'm an Enneagram 8. Do you know your Enneagram?
8.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We're either going to be best friends or
do you challenge everything?
This forever. I challenge everything. And I can actually argue points I don't even agree with.
I do it all the time. Sometimes I commit to it, and I'm like, I know I'm wrong, but man, I'm already committed.
But we love a healthy debate. I want to just have friends that I can just be like, let's pick something, go at it, and be like, all right, see you later. But my husband is not that at all. He is so passive, and he doesn't, I don't mean to say he doesn't care he just wants me to be happy and chase my dream and supports me. So he doesn't, it's funny, this town, like, he's been on tour with me this year, stepping in as my TM. I'm getting big opportunities now and don't have the team in place that I need. So we're just trying to do the best that we can. And I've had people be like, your husband on the road with you is weird, or like, you can't have your husband around this. Like, everyone's going to think he makes all your decisions for you. And like, well, who cares? Because he don't. He is my partner in life and supports me. And if I want his opinion, I'll get it. But this is my business and I'm running it. And I don't care what you think. He's also like an emotional support human on the road. And we're going to states he's from Arkadelphia. We met when I was in school at Henderson. And we've never been to Maine and, all these places. And we're getting to do that together. And so that's another, like, it's constantly fighting what I think this has to be like. And for the first time ever, I'm like, what if I could just make all my own damn rules? So
my wife is great about sometimes separating me from the, because it's not reality, but from what I think is reality.
Yes.
And her going, hey, that's not real world. You I know you're concerned about this, but that's actually not really what matters the most. Like, there are fundamental things that we should care about, and this is not one of them. You're spending way too much time invested in something that doesn't matter a lick, or even goals. Like, I met my wife, and she has no interest in this business. She does not want to be public. She is, somebody who comes from, like, she did like oil and gas commodities. So everything with her she's very, very smart, but linear. Mm. And so I am not linear at all. Like, nothing about this job is linear.
Yeah.
I can't do something and just know if I do a good job that it's going to be wildly successful. You got to do a good job and hope. Or sometimes you do a bad job and it turns out wildly successful. There's really no, rhyme or reason to a lot of this stuff. And especially when it comes to like family, when it comes to things that will be here in 10 years, she resets me a lot where she's like, you are investing a lot of emotional energy in something that's not going to matter to you in 6 days. And you're giving it a month's worth of emotional energy, and it is not going to matter to you in anything more than 6 days. And for me, because she's not in this world,
Yep.
that's been great. Now, there are times where it's frustrating because she just doesn't understand, like, my brain and why it works the way it does. But it's like a 93% success rate at our relationship, and her not being in the business helping me sometimes recenter myself.
Yeah, and I've written songs about how I've seen romantic relationships go wrong every possible way they could. I ain't seen a lot of them go right. But I have learned in my own marriage, I don't think your spouse is supposed to be your everything. You're not going to get everything you need out of this one person. And so I have my music community of people I can talk to, and when they're talking, I know they actually get a certain part of it. But, when I want to ask them certain questions, I know their view is as tarnished as mine is. So then I have my friends who are not in music at all. But, I think it's just about having that community around you and not putting that pressure on your spouse to be your absolute every kind of intellectual stimulation and advice like you could ever need, because I can't be that for him. He's got to have people to explain engines to, because I try to act like I know what's happening and I don't. But yeah, it's crucial to have those people in our life. And I don't know about you, but I definitely did not think. I had chosen to be lonely for this entire thing because.
Oh, I never thought I was going to get married. Never.
No.
Because I didn't think I thought people would want to marry me just because if I got.
There's that, what would you say? You're not humble. Here's an example.
Well, listen.
I thought everyone would, I didn't think I'd have trouble bagging a girl like they were lined
I didn't
up.
because I was starting to get rich and I was starting to get famous.
Well.
And that's when it got easy. And so and so then it's
I haven't
like.
experienced that yet.
It's different. It's different. And I was like, somebody will want to marry me, but there won't be anybody that wants to marry me for like me.
Yeah.
Like the actual human part of me.
Because we're ugly, inside and out.
Then once I found it, I was like, why? What's wrong with you to want to marry me or want to be with me? I struggled with that for a long time.
Yep.
Because I was like, you're actually awesome. Why in the world would you want to be with me?
Yep.
Whenever you can like see the real parts of me. And that was a difficult, a seminar I had to like put myself into. And then it's like, well, if she loves me, why do I not love me? Like, there's got to be something here that's redeemable, because I don't feel like anything is really that redeemable about me, because I've just been doing it by myself very selfishly. And not selfishly as I want to keep everything, but like I only cared really about me because I was the only one to care about. But yeah, I think her not being creative brained like as a job helped me tremendously. Like family. I never had a family. So her coming in with a strong family and like, hey, this is important to me. And I fought it hard. I fought even after we got married, like, hey, I'm just going to go off for a couple days, go tour. She's like, well, no, we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like we both have something to say. We don't just run off.
Well, she cares about it.
And I like would push back hard. Like, no, I'm an adult. Those type of situations.
That's our 8. You can't. Oh God, don't try to hold us down.
Yeah, I challenge everything, and now she will challenge me in the opposite direction that she actually wants, because she knows I will push back. But the actual way I'm pushing is the way that she wants. So she'll just. But I do that with her being late places.
They can spin us around. Yeah, that's the worst when you get so vulnerable with somebody. I'm like, you can spin me around.
How long you been married?
5 years.
Oh, you said that earlier.
Yeah.
That's about how long we've been married too.
Nice.
Yeah, where'd you get married?
We got married in Hope, a 2020 wedding.
Was that a COVID wedding?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was September of 2020, but we had been engaged for 2.5 years and from a small town. So
I tell people
went ahead and had it.
About Arkadelphia. I'm like, there was a literal college across the street. Like literally. I'm not just like in the same town, because that happens in places like
the Ravine.
There was another, the rich kid college was across the street.
Yep.
And
the OBU kids, they threw different parties, but
they did.
We checked out a couple of them.
They did. What's been going good for you?
Well, exposure. I think that's what I've tried to set my sights on, because I do believe in my gift and my talent and my story. So I feel like at this point, I'm trying to get it to people. I know it's not for everybody, but I know it's for a lot of people, and they just don't even know it exists, is how I feel. I've been like screaming my name from the rooftops, trying to find my people. So feels like I've been given a few industry opportunities lately specifically that have put me in front of a lot of people. And that is validation. I will say that getting to play, like we got to go on tour with Luke Bryan this summer, which was the biggest opportunity I've gotten touring. 20,000 people a night that did not come to see me. Half of them could care less I'm up there, but it is a chance for me to, if anybody is listening, to get them and to see the people that then you have a physical thing to hang on to. Like I see those people go follow me on socials and they all start commenting, I saw you in so-and-so and I saw you in so-and-so. And so that has been something I can actually hold on to lately where I'm like, okay, if I can get in front of somebody, I can win them over and like, but obviously that's discouraging too when you're like, I got to build them one at a time. This is going to take me, I'm going to be on my walker at 80 years old. Like finally I have a sustainable audience.
Luke's awesome though, huh?
Luke is a wild man. Luke brought us on stage for our first night to sing with him. It was me, George, which thank God, George is.
I didn't realize that's how George. Well, you guys might know each other a lot of ways. I didn't realize that's how you guys know each other.
George and I have written songs together for several years, but he was good buddies with my producer and one of my best friends, Paul Sykes, who also wrote a bunch of Matt Stell's stuff. But George was out there and Cole Goodwin, and Luke wouldn't tell us what song we were singing before we went out and was just like being so funny, like, you guys better get ready. I'm about to throw you in the fire. And so everyone's just kind of like, ooh. And that's, again, I'm grateful for the resilience because I was like, Luke Bryan, I have been waiting on this moment my whole damn life. You do whatever you think you need to do. You're not finna scare me or embarrass me. I am finna blow your mind. Let's go. And luckily, I know just about every song that's ever existed. That's where a lot of my common sense was supposed to be, I'm afraid. But we got out there and we did Pickup Man and
like Joe Diffie Pickup Man?
Yeah. And nobody knew what verse. We were all just like, I mean, can you imagine? Like, it's chaos. And there's 20,000 people screaming and Luke Bryan, who you haven't even met, is here and he just looks at you and you're like, all right, take the verse. We did that one. We did Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, and he like lifts me up and puts me on a speaker and has me do the big note, and I'm just like, I'm ready. And then he goes into Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi, and George Burge and Cole Goodwin both look at me and panic and are like, oh no, I don't know this one. And I'm like, step aside, boys.
You played that one many times.
And I got my fringe skirt on and I'm like, here I go. And me and Luke just like rocked it. And it was all out of body. But that's the only way this stuff comes to me is I get no prep. I don't get to I could knock it out of the park if I could be prepared for the opportunities. But that's never how they come to me. They are like, you better be ready and you better just believe that it ain't going to be perfect, but you're meant for the opportunity when it hits you. And so that Luke tour was like that. And I studied him so close. And you talk about a crew that's like been together a long time. And so
really good people.
That's where I'm at is it's important to know how to build your team. And especially when you have the personalities we do. Like I am difficult in a lot of ways. I have really high expectations for myself and that transfers to the people around me. And I don't know how that works out for me because I can't expect everyone around me to have the same absolute insanity work ethic. But I do have to make sure I have my people that match me in the same way I guess you have found something like that in your team that you've built.
Did you ever do the bar thing where you just sang all the covers all the time?
Nope. I started chasing a publishing deal as soon as I got here because I was in a friend group of people who never did the Broadway thing. They were session musicians and staff songwriters, and I was convinced if I got down on Broadway, it was going to take me away from my original career and that I would get sucked into it. Yeah. Which now I think everybody has their own path. I don't think there's anything wrong with Broadway. I think those are some of the best performers you're ever going to see because they have done it. They could do it in their sleep. They're entertaining a crowd, a party crowd, every day. So I think there are skills you can only learn on Broadway. But yeah, I folded panties at Victoria's Secret instead of playing cover gigs and built my catalog of songs.
Which one of these songs, that was your EP's Your Name. It's self-titled, right? It's self-titled. Mm-hmm. Which one of the songs, and maybe they're in different places, has the most traction? And are they different? Because sometimes something will blow up on TikTok. It really won't do much on Instagram, but it'll stream. Where's all that sit?
Well, that's the thing is it depends where the traction is. Like
Really?
my mom called me 2 days ago and goes, "How's the EP doing?" And I was like, "In what context?" Because I don't even know how to answer that these days.
And that was even a hard question to ask because
no, I know what you mean.
it can be. There can be we'll just do a song. There can be a song like Mr. Fix It, right?
Yeah, Mr. Fix It was a TikTok pop off for sure.
That crushes, and you're like, man, I really thought it would do better.
But streams don't reflect it. Yeah,
right.
But I had 3,000, UGCs within 2 hours of posting that song with me singing it in my car before I ever recorded it for the first time. Like that kind of engagement, but it doesn't translate to streams. And then my song I Better Go off the EP, I hear just got added to I Heart Country's Women of Country, which will be
that's me.
My first time to have a song played on
you're welcome.
Radio. Yeah, well, thank you, sir. That is a gigantic deal for me. And so that song is showing it's, raising a hand. The Highway just added it to On the Horizon. This is my first song to ever have on the Highway. And I've been beating these doors down for 10 years in this town. So
isn't it crazy? One can do one place and another does another. But currency's all eyeballs and earballs at this point. Like, it doesn't matter how you get them.
That drives me insane, though.
Doesn't matter how you get them.
Like, it's got to be cool. And like,
or you can be so not cool that it's cool. Yeah. Like, that's also cool.
I think I just have to stop caring.
Yes.
So much, and I'm almost there.
And I read Amy Poehler's book once, and she was like, yeah, I really made it once I stopped caring that I made it. And I was like, I think about that all the time because I can get close to not caring and just be like, F it, I don't care. But I can't get there.
But is that even healthy for people like us? If I stop caring, I think I'm dead in the water.
If I stop caring, like I have to have ankle surgery coming up in a couple of weeks, and I'm like, you know what? Because I stay pretty active and work out. I'm like, who cares? I'm not going to work out at all because I'm going to have ankle surgery and I'm going to have like a month where I'm not doing anything. So like, I don't even want to walk anywhere now. Not because of my ankle, because I'm like, that's too much exercise. Like when I don't care about something at all, it's like, I don't even think. So if I stop caring, I think I just won't do anything.
Yeah, that part of our personality is black and white, all or nothing. We don't, which is good about us, but also bad if we have.
Are you do you have addictive personality?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But luckily I haven't tried any hard drugs or I would really like them.
Me too. We should do them together.
I'm down.
I got some heroin. I bring it in for the first time for both of us.
I think we should do meth or something to nod to our Arkansas roots.
Nod to all the trailers and campers that blew up from where we're from.
I am proud that we both made it out without a meth addiction. That is.
I understand what's, the wild thing about that is when people talk about the opioid crisis, like it's, to me, like I get it. I understand why and how people get addicted to opioids. They're cheap. Life sucks. And why would you not make your life feel good for a couple minutes cheaply when life sucks so bad?
Especially when your doctor prescribed it to you because you had a surgery and then they are making money and like there's a whole crooked system. But that's the kind of stuff I make music about. Like that is why my story is so important and why I feel so convicted to keep writing songs and get them out to people and do all this frou-frou glam and part of this that I hate. I'm a horrible girl. I hate all of that showman politician stuff. But I believe I got something to say and I believe I can make people feel understood or less alone or something that I'm searching for. And so I think that's somehow the motivation. But I sing about that stuff. I have a song called Leave that's begging my dad to leave my mom. Never, ever look back. Just take your shit and get gone. And I thought that was so personal and people are able to put all their own stories into it. And I sing about the drug addiction. I have friends that were born into it and had no chance in hell of ever not becoming an addict. There was no way unless they took off on foot and never came back. They were born into it and there was no way around it.
When you say that, I had one of those type moments when I wrote my first book and I wrote a lot about different parts of my life growing up. And there's a fine line between sharing and being embarrassed of it. And I wrote some stuff and I really had to consider if I wanted to put it in, but I wanted to be completely honest with my story, so I put it in. I felt like it wouldn't have represented me as a whole package had I not put these certain stories in the book. And a lot of it was my mom's drug abuse and a lot of the situations that happened from that, not even just the drugs. And I was like, man, I don't want people to feel sorry for me either. But it turns out it was the exact opposite. The things I thought nobody would relate to. It wasn't even they exactly lived the same life or had the same shared experience, but it was very similar. And they'd say, hey, I read your book. You know what really struck me? And it would be that one or two things I was almost embarrassed about writing that I thought nobody would relate to. Either they would think I was weird or they would feel sorry for me. I didn't want either. And it turns out that was the most relatable thing that I could have written. And that was a real learning lesson for me because I did it and it felt really uncomfortable. But then, and I thought nobody relates except everybody that I would talk to would be like, that's like the main thing. So when you say that about songs and you're going, man, that feels super personal. And people are like, they've assigned their own story to your songs. Very similar.
Yeah. And even the validation you get, because sometimes it's not even about the song or like I talk about how your journey inspired me. That is something I'm starting to learn is the bravery that I have to potentially fail at this over and over again. People have told me that inspires them. That when they're like, I'm scared to take this tiny step, like your story and your just dream chasing and audacity has inspired me to ask for a raise at my job for a random example in my head. But like, it is way bigger than you and I could even fathom the way that we are truly able to affect people. And that's an enormous amount of pressure that can crush me on some days. And some days it's like, this is magic. We truly have a magical power if we can figure out how to harness it.
We have perspective and we didn't want it, but we got it.
Yep.
I wouldn't have signed up for it. I wouldn't have gone up, all right, everybody about to be born. Here's what's up. Sign over to this line. You can sign up.
A dash of abandonment issues.
Yes.
A dash of...
I think I would have not signed up for any of that. But, we took what was handed to us. And so far, what they say, what are they?
We're making lemonade.
Yeah. Well, there's another one, a little grosser than that. But yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, it's super awesome to get to spend some time with you. Again, you come highly recommended, not from people going, which is a great singer, because everybody's a great singer here. You are, that. You're really good. You're great even. But like people that really like you. And like I said, you have to be liked. And my friends that I trust, George is one of them. There's a few of them. I don't need to say them all here, but we're like, hey, you should talk to Mae. She's really amazing. And so, yeah, I see it now. That's super cool.
I was about to say, what's your verdict? You're one
on
of the most honest people I know.
My verdict doesn't matter, is what my verdict is. But I'm rooting for you. That's my verdict.
That's amazing.
I'm rooting for you because, man, it sucks and it's hard and it's awesome and all of that. All that can be true. I think my wife taught me that multiple things can be true at once.
Yeah.
Because I definitely did not think that. It was only one way. I was going to assign myself to the way. Whatever it was the way, and that's it. But multiple things can be true at once. And it's really hard and it's really awesome. And some days more than others. And both can be true at the same time. Yeah, congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
What's up? So what's I hate this question because I get asked it and there's not a good answer to it, but I'm going to ask it to you because it's miserable. Like what's next?
Well, we're going to keep touring our butts off, and anybody who will call me and take me on tour, I'm going to be out there. We're going to C2C the first time, so we'll go overseas, and I'm super excited about that. I want to make my first record so desperately.
Does this not count? Because an EP, who cares about records?
I care about a record.
Well, that's because, this is perfect. We're going to do 5 more minutes on this. Because why do you care about a record? Because you've always cared about a record?
Because I care about having your attention for more than 3.5 minutes. Because I got a bigger story to tell, and I feel like the small gaps of, and I know our attention spans, you can't keep my attention for longer than that. But I think it's...
Have you always wanted to do a record for 15 years?
Yeah, I want to leave a record behind.
Okay. I've always wanted to host an award show. My wife came to me, and I would just I'd want to stab my eyeballs out with a fork when I wouldn't get the job hosting the award show. Or I would get a job and they'd pull it. Or I would, with the ACMs, I'm like Reba's right-hand man, but I'm not the host. And my wife's like, I know that's been your thing for 15 years.
Yeah.
But you've done things way bigger than that, and you're still so assigned to that because it's what you attached yourself to 15 years ago, and you feel like if you change that you're somehow a failure. Like, you got to let that go. I'm not saying don't make a record. It'd be awesome to make a record.
Is your wife looking for another therapy client?
I don't think so. I think she has to give me therapy because I go crazy. Gosh. Like,
She sounds amazing.
I'm constantly miserable and going, I'm miserable. It's over.
And
I'm
with
done.
the life you built.
I'm washed up. It's over.
That's what's crazy.
It's over. All of that. But I was so assigned to, I'm going to host a freaking award show. And if I don't, I suck. And if you don't ever make a record and you make songs, that's awesome.
You're right. You're 100% right.
But make a record. Like, I still want to host an award show. And you'll make a record and it'll be great. But it ain't all about the record. You've wanted to make a record for a long time. And you've attached your success to making that freaking record. It ain't about the record.
No. My goal for the next year is to learn to like myself half as much as a whole lot of people do and believe some of the nice things they say about me. Keep being honest and vulnerable in my music more than I feel like I have been so much, but I think I've actually been really holding back because I'm in the same way you were. Like, I'm terrified to let that ugly out because I show a lot of my ugly and I'm already like, people acknowledge the rough around the edges, but I'm like, no, I could really scare you.
Yeah,
but I got to tap into that. I want to keep getting less and less of a filter and being unapologetic and honest and in every facet of that. I want to make money. I want to not be worried about paying my bills, and I want to be able to take care of people I love if they need me, and I want to afford the ability to take time off if I need it. Like, those are my goals. And so I think you're right. I need to focus on those instead of it's a #1 song, it's a record, it's an award show, it's somebody in this town telling me I matter. I'm in the process of shifting all of those goals.
You'll never shift totally away from it, but at least having the awareness that shouldn't always be the focus, because I'm the same. I still want all the same stuff, but when I don't get it, I can go, you've assigned too much value to it.
Took me 10 years, but I'm getting there.
Oh, in 10 more years, you'll be like, man, I was such, you're like, I was so naive even 10 years ago. I'm proud of you. I'm proud for you. I'm not proud of you. I'm proud for you. There's a difference. And make a record. I can't wait for you to make a record. But I hope that's not what you're assigned to as far as like that's success is making a record.
Yeah.
I think you made a record. You got 5 songs.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, good to talk with you. Everybody likes you that I know. And so I like you. And I like you now. But sometimes people come in here and I like them and then I leave and I'm like, no, that wasn't even really them. If you walk out here with a British accent, I'm going to totally feel played.
I was about to say, if you check out anything I do ever, I think you're going to know exactly who I am. I would be a lot further along if I knew how to fake it. I believe that.
I used to try. I just couldn't remember the lies I was telling. So I had to stop lying.
You could just see it all. It's a physical reaction when I'm having to fake it. That's why I'm horrible in this industry, is it's like, go schmooze. This dinner is just about getting them to like you.
Did you do radio tour thing?
Loosely over the last 2 years, every show I've played, we've made.
Gosh, that's hard.
I kind of love that stuff, Bobby. I'm a people person.
I'm not a people person.
But I want to be real with them. I don't want you. You're not going to sit here and just lie to me and bullshit me and me do that back. I can't do that. But I can connect with anybody on anything, and so that's why I have this naive thing that like I can talk to a radio person and be like, I interned at a radio station. I went to school for radio. Like, what brought you to this? You got the same crazy I do, and somehow a passion you're chasing, let's bond on that. But you got to fight people because they have their, like, thing put up where it's, I don't know, people can only be as honest with you as they are with themselves, and that is the biggest thing I have learned in the political networking part of this. So I'm not good at that, and you got who you are today. Yeah. That's who I am, and I know that with you, and that's what I respect about you. And so when you say a compliment or something, actually, it does have more weight because I know you don't just throw that stuff around.
Well, keep going. That's all. Keep going. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I think you're going to continue to be an inspiration to a lot of people who are thinking about doing this and end up doing this because they saw someone like you do this that didn't come from a place where it was offered.
Yeah.
There was no offer.
I have no reason to believe this would work out for me. I have no reason to believe I can do this.
All right. I'll be watching.
Keep watching, Bobby.
All right. Thanks, Mae.